Oh man, we're brewing up some of that good stuff. We've got Back 40 Beer Company here for beer before breakfast. We've got David, and David, you brought along someone else from Back 40 Beer Company. We've got Big Bad Brad in the shop as well this morning.
That's right, Joe. This is Brad Wilson. He's our marketing manager, and actually in his former life before Back 40, he was also a chef. So
that's right.
A chef on a mountain, actually, in Crested Butte, Colorado. So he's had a tough life. But I've asked him to dust the chef jacket off a little bit and come in here and whip up some Gulffish tacos.
So was it actually a restaurant like on the mountain, or were you just like sitting on the mountaintop just like cooking stuff up?
It was technically a restaurant.
Okay.
I was part-time chef, part-time ski bum, pretty much was the idea.
And full-time fun times.
Exactly.
Full-time fun times, right?
But you have to ski to your job. It's not a job.
It's not a job at all. Yeah.
Well, yeah, a rough life from going from that to this. So tell us about these Gulffish tacos that we're making today.
Well, we've got some amazing grouper from our friends at the Hilton Pensacola Gulf Front. Yeah, it's Chef Dan Dunn. Got us some fresh, absolutely caught this morning, fresh grouper that we're going to use in these tacos. And it's just simple ingredients, just garlic, a little bit of a mustard-based batter, and a quick fry-up. It's a great, simple, easy dish.
Sounds good, and with super fresh fish, you can't beat that. And we also have this going on right here, David. Tell us what we're doing this morning.
That's right, Joe. Well, as you know, we use beer as a food ingredient on all of our beer before breakfast recipes, and today I'm actually going to make the beer that goes in the recipe as well. So we're gonna do a small 5-gallon homebrew batch of our Truck Stop Honey Brown Ale.
Really cool. What's going on in there right now? Because I see it's not just water in there.
Well, no, this is a bag of cracked grain, and if we can get an overhead shot right here to this plate,
we've got it. Yep.
What you see is three different groups of things, and the lighter one here, this is actually a type of malted barley. It's called caramel. It's a caramel malted barley, and then this is chocolate malted barley here. These are two of the types of malted barley that go into Truck Stop Honey. This third patch here is the combination of all of the grains cracked or crushed. What we actually want to do is we want to take this barley, which by the way is malted, and malted basically refers to the process in which the grain is steeped in warm water to start the germination process of the actual barley grain.
You just turned into a scientist.
Well, I'm not going to get too heady on you here, Joe, but basically you cut it off with dry heat, and then what we're doing here is we've taken this cracked grain, we want to open up the innards of the grain, and we're steeping it in the water, and that warm water is going to start an enzymatic process that converts the starches in the grain into sugars, and those are going to be the sugars that the yeast convert to alcohol to make beer.
All right, well that sounds pretty awesome, really cool that we're doing that, and you told us this is legal now in the state of Alabama as well, which we touched on in the teas just recently, right?
That's right, just this legislative session. Alabama was the last state to pass legislation legalizing home brewing.
All right, so not breaking any laws here on Studio 10.
That's right.
We wouldn't want to do that, but we do want to continue checking in with you guys throughout the show because we have got a lot to do this morning. We're going to start cooking that, we're going to continue working on this, and then we're going to put it all together at the end. Danny?
That's right. I'm here with David Karn from Back 40 Beer Company's Beer Before Breakfast. So we're still brewing, right?
That's right, Danny. We're still brewing over here, and Brad's prepping his Gulffish taco recipe. Again, this is Brad Wilson. He's our marketing manager, and I would say a recovering chef, but that's what I say for me. I'm a recovering lawyer, but I think he's still got that chef in him for sure. Brad, tell us what you're doing here with the batter.
So we've already started with a very simple yellow mustard batter. We've started with our 2 cloves of garlic, which we pureed and already tossed into the pot, and then we'll add our Mexican oregano, our black pepper, our salt, and 1 bouillon cube of chicken.
This is going to be a flavorful batter.
Indeed. And then, of course, we have to add 1 cup of Truck Stop Honey. And then always drink some yourself.
Not bad.
And then, last but not least, we'll add our mustard, our flour, and our baking powder. And once you've added all those ingredients, you just whisk them gently. You don't want to whisk it too much. Just want to take some of the lumps out. And then we will dredge our fresh Gulf grouper in the batter, and we'll go straight into the fryer from there.
Yummy. I would have never thought to make a batter like this. We're going to put this recipe on our webpage at fox10tv.com under the Studio 10 tab. And I want to ask you, David, how long does it take to make some beer?
Well, to actually brew a home-brewed batch of beer, it's going to take a couple of hours. I usually like to carve out maybe a half afternoon or something like that, a lazy Sunday, and brew a little bit of prep time. I'd say 30 to 45 minutes. The actual brew time is going to vary between 60 to 90 minutes. Our brew time today for Truck Stop Honey is 60 minutes. You can see we're actually brewing right now. The longer part of the process is the fermentation period. That's when the yeasts consume those fermentable sugars from the grain that I was talking about at the beginning of the segment, and they produce alcohol and carbon dioxide. And then for home brewing, if you're going to bottle your beer, then you do what's called bottle conditioning, and you add what they call priming sugar into the bottle of beer, cap it, and let that yeast consume a little more sugar and produce a little more alcohol and most of all CO2, and that's what carbonates the beer.
Just regular sugar?
Well, it's a sugar and water mix, but yeah, your regular white sugar that you get at the store.
Okay.
And so all in, you're looking at about a month for a standard beer. But we've got a nice boil going on here. I've already added our first hop addition, which is called a bittering hop. The earlier hops that you add in the boil, those are what we call bittering hops. They're higher in alpha acids, so they tend to add the bitterness to the beer. Towards the end of the boil, I'm going to add our aroma hops. These are two different types of hops. Now, unlike grain, which, as I showed you earlier, there were different colors, that's all really the same grain. It's just roasted in a different way in the malting process. These are actually different strains of hops, and you can see right here, if we get overhead shot, this is actually what raw hops look like. They're green leaves. Fun fact, they are actually a member of the cannabis family, but they do not have THC,
Okay.
So they are not naughty little leaves.
Okay.
And these are pelletized hops here. This is the pelletized version, and this is what you're going to use for the most part in a homebrew, and it's what we're using today. So when you come back for the third segment, I'll add the aroma hops. I'll also add the honey, our Back 40 Truck Stop Wildflower Honey.
Okay.
This is the honey that actually goes in our beer. So.
This is like a science class.
I'm
I feel
telling
like
you.
I need a
I'm
notepad.
blowing your mind here, Danny.
You
Yeah.
are. I can't
Yeah.
wait to put it all on the website, and I'm sure you guys can't either, because I know you want to know everything that he just said.
That's right.
And we're going to drop this fish in our batter.
That's right.
And when we come back, we're going to see what everything's looking like. How's that sound?
Sounds great.
All righty.
Back in the kitchen with David from Back 40 Beer Company, and who we working with this morning, David?
Joe, we got Brad Wilson. He's our marketing manager and also a chef in a former life, and he's whipped up a fantastic Back 40 Goldfish taco recipe. And I'm brewing the beer that goes in the recipe.
All right, so let's talk about this beer that you're brewing live here on Studio 10.
Absolutely. This is the final couple of stages. This is going to be our Aroma Hop Addition here. We add this at the end. This is going to give you that hoppy nose to the beer.
Okay.
So we're just going to add it in here. No big deal. You add that at about 10 minutes the final 10 minutes, excuse me, of the brew.
Sure.
And then about the same time, maybe a little, we'll go ahead and do it now, but I like to do this around 5 minutes. We're going to add the honey, and this is actually the honey that goes in our full production Truck Stop honey. And just about 12 ounces. Now, this is an 18.2 ounce bottle. So I'm just going to kind of eyeball it here, you know. Just let it come out. Get a nice little bubble going. And but this is the final stages of the brew. Like I said, all in to brew. Carve out a couple hours of your day. I like to do it again on a lazy Sunday in the afternoon. Just get a couple of beers and brew some beer. And now while I'm doing this, let's go ahead and go over to Brad and let him plate up these goldfish tacos.
All right.
Sure. So what we've done in the meantime is we've finished our fried fish here. They turned out a perfect golden brown, if I do say so.
That's because you're awesome.
That's what I was telling you. And we also made a quick little Baja Sauce here. The Baja Sauce is simply about a third of a cup of sour cream, a third of a cup of mayonnaise, and a quarter cup of whole milk. Just whisk that together really quick. simple, easy sauce that anybody can make. What I like to do with my slaw is go ahead and add a little bit of sugar to your red cabbage, and then a little bit of the shameless product placement, Back 40 beer vinegar. We'll shake a little bit of that on there just for some acidity.
It's not too shameless because you're kind of here all morning, to promote it.
Fair enough, fair enough. And then from there, it's just a taco bar. We do want to give a little shout out to our buddy Rick Bayless at Frontera Grill, since we blatantly ripped off this recipe from him.
Okay.
And I have been ripping it off for many years now. So from there, it's just a taco bar. You just take your taco, grab your beautiful piece of fresh Gulf grouper, a little bit of your red cabbage, and then give it a little drizzle.
Man, how good does that look?
Oh, it doesn't get any better, man.
That looks awesome.
That's about as simple and as easy. Even brewers can do it.
Look at that finished product. I'm going to take a bite of that. Before we go, though, guys, we want to mention, how can folks try out some Back 40 beer?
We're located at several locations throughout Mobile. Our family is the OK Bicycle Shop. If you're looking to buy some beer to take home with you, Winn-Dixie, Piggly Wiggly, Publix, any of your local grocers, Cottage Hill Package Store, Moe's Barbecue, any of your finer grocers around Mobile, as well as in Pensacola. Like as you mentioned,
Go ahead. Yep.
We'll be at the Pensacola Beer Fest this weekend.
All right, so go check them out at the Pensacola Beer Fest. Several places to try this out. We've got to take a break, but we'll be right back with more Studio 10. Thanks a lot, guys. Looks fantastic. I'm grabbing a fork. Or just my hands.
Yeah, go for it.
All right.